I'm Peter Austin, these are a couple of British sitcom theme tunes, and this is interesting. There exists a popular British sitcom from the 20th century about a strange, bumbling yet oddly endearing man who gets into all sorts of scrapes for our amusement. He wears an iconic outfit and can be easily impersonated by just pulling a funny face and saying only one or two words. Some of you may have realised by now I'm actually describing two such shows, the internationally popular Mr. Bean, no introduction required, and a more local delicacy, the slightly awkwardly titled Some Mothers Do Ave Em, a 1970s show that follows the exploits of the accident-prone Frank Spencer. But as well as the aforementioned similarities, both shows have something else in common that I'm going to demonstrate today. These are the hidden messages of sitcom theme tunes. For our first theme, we've got the late, great Ronnie Hazelhurst to thank, the man behind dozens of popular tunes on British TV, but not just sitcoms, also dramas, game shows, light entertainment. Amongst all that, though, his most ingenious work might be Some Mothers Do Ave Em, because as it turns out, the tune, once described by The Independent as a brief staccato theme, barely a tune at all, contains an 18-letter phrase written out in Morse code. Let's have a listen, although you'll have to enjoy my own rendition rather than the official recording because I don't want to get a match from YouTube's Content ID system. Now, the Morse code here probably wouldn't be considered fully up to scratch in a military context, a little bit of artistic license has been taken with the spacing, but it certainly is true that if you take the note lengths as dots or dashes, the melody of the theme perfectly spells out the show's title, deliberately excluding the H and TH that are also missing in the official stylization, and there's even a full stop at the end. Now, this isn't the only time Ronnie Hazelhurst hid the name of a show within its theme tune, although usually he went with the more traditional method of taking the syllables and stresses of the title being spoken aloud and using that to inspire the melody, such as in the main motif of The Last of the Summer Wine. When it comes to Mr. Bean, though, it's not the title of the show that's hidden in its opening tune, but rather a curious sort of introduction to its protagonist. The theme itself, written by Howard Goodall, who again composed for a great many famous TV shows and films, is a choral piece written in Latin, and therein lies our hidden message. Translating the lyrics, which are simply the phrase "Ecce homo qui est faber," sung twice, we get the following. Behold, the man who is a bean. The closing theme was slightly different, Vale homo qui est faber, goodbye or farewell the man who is a bean, and rather brilliantly, when the show was first broadcast on ITV, either side of the ad break we were also given finis partis primae and pars secunda, which in modern parlance would be end of part 1 and part 2 once the show comes back on. I think I can risk playing the official versions of those, so let's hear them. And Goodall was another composer who seemingly had a habit of doing this sort of thing. As revealed by Stephen Fry in Series 13 of panel show QI, that programme's theme song, written by Goodall, also contains a hidden message, and one that rather neatly brings us full circle, as it too was written in Morse code. The message was actually a URL to a website that hosted some bonus clips from the show, but before I tell you what the URL was, I must insist that you do not visit it because the domain is no longer owned by the BBC, and people who have gone there more recently have reported the likes of casino adverts, X-rated content, and even malware, okay? So please do not visit www.alanzeroandstephenhero.com. In hindsight, hiding a URL in the theme tune of a show that's still running today, but then choosing not to look after that domain, wasn't the best move on the part of the BBC, but fortunately I think Goodall's reputation remains untarnished. I firmly believe that despite the clownish antics of Mr. Bean himself, Ecce Homo is one of the most beautiful TV themes ever written, and I, no word of a lie, want that song played at my funeral. I mean, what could be better than being sent off accompanied by a genuinely poignant sort of lullaby of a melody with lyrics that are bidding farewell to the man who is a bean. I've been Peter Austin, and that was interesting.